You're watching Around Town with Henry Dormann.
Around Town is sponsored by Chemung Canal Trust Company. They're really nice people. Trust is their middle name. Service is their motto. And I like them a lot, and that's why I bank there. If you ever come by to look me up, I'll be in the vault. Safe place. They just cleaned the blood off the table here. It was a Valentine's Day show, and it's now nice and clean. This is a place you may want to write down something about it because it's hard to find. But take a pencil now. This is Keith Hoover, and he runs, what would you call it? A haunted house in a cemetery.
House, yes, a haunted attraction. The name of our place here is called Kingsbury Cemetery Haunted House.
And where is it?
We are in Painted Post. We are right off exit 43 off of I-86. And we are at 100 Victory Highway. This place actually used to be an old Ames Plaza years ago. Now they call it the Galleria of Shops.
And you come right around the corner, and there you
we're
are.
on the back corner. We have actually about 8,000 square foot in the back corner of this building. So you have to kind of go to the left of the building and come around to the side parking lot.
And you come here, and they have skeletons, and things happen, and they scare you to death. And
Absolutely.
But they only scare you to death at certain times.
Right.
So you have to tell them when you're open, and should they call for reservations?
I don't necessarily have to call for reservations.
Wow. He doesn't get scared at all.
No, it's hard to scare me after all these years. But we're going to be open starting September 23rd this year, and we are open every Friday and Saturday evening for 6 weeks. And then we will also include Halloween night. We are always open Halloween night, and we're open from 7 to 10 p.m. each evening. We also will have on, I believe it's the 16th, Sunday, we have a special matinee for children, actually. We do a kids event every year, and we kind of actually tame all the scares and make it a little bit less scary for the younger kids that are not ready for the full-on show. So they actually come and they do an afternoon event for the kids.
What happens at the show? They scare the goodness graciouses out of them.
We try to, yes, absolutely.
People jump out.
Yep, we've got plenty of actors inside that are trained to try and extract the maximum scares that they can possibly get from you. We always like to joke that you don't want to be on our number 1 or number 2 list. So, and literally, we actually every year we have some people that actually have a few accidents because they actually get so scared in here. That's actually a little bit of a point of pride for our some of our actors to say that they scared somebody so bad that they wet their pants. But
You have a lot of fun here.
oh, we have an absolute lot of fun, yes.
And your family's involved in this with you.
Yes, it's definitely been a family affair. This all started years ago, back in 2000, as a charity event actually at my home, and we did it for about 10 years. It was over on Kingsbury Avenue in Corning, which is how the whole place actually got its name. And then in 2012, we took it into the business level and took it out of the house, and we've been doing it. This will be the 5th year that we've been doing it as a business. When we started it back at my home, all we requested was 2 cans of food to donate to the Corning Food Pantry, and over those first 10 years, we had close to 9,000 cans of food that we actually donated to the Corning Food Pantry. Now that we've taken it to the business level, what we do, even though we charge admission, we take $1 from every ticket that everybody purchases, and we donate that $1 back to the food pantry.
How much is admission?
Admission, so it depends on whether you do 1 or 2. We have 2 separately themed events in here, and you can get a single ticket for $13, or you can get a combo ticket at a discount. I believe the combo ticket this year is going to be either $18 or $19 for the two separately themed haunts.
And what are each of the 2? What happens inside? Should you
So
be scared to go in?
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole point of it. So one thing that's kind of unique about us in this area, and actually even then in the nation, is there are not too many. There's a lot of other haunted houses around, actually thousands across the U.S. that pop up every year during the Halloween season. But there are not too many that actually go to the extreme lengths that we do to change up their story every year. And we actually write an actual spooky story, usually a 1 or 2 page long story, so it doesn't take that long to read it. but it really sets the mood for that particular theme. And that's kind of what we do back in the springtime of each year. We actually write the stories, and then we take that and we build up from there. We look at the story, we say, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to change up inside the haunted house? What are we going to change as far as our props, as far as our costuming, as far as the sounds?
What are the
all those
stories
different
now?
things.
You have two different stories. Which
Yes,
kind
so
of-
this
what happens
year,
inside?
the first one is called The Lady in Black, and that's going to be in this particular, go through this facade here. And then the second one is called The Doll Factory, which is actually, that one I think is going to be the creepier of the two for this year. We've collected...
You look so serious, but behind your eyes you're smiling and laughing.
I'm smiling and laughing, but I actually have a particular phobia of dolls. And I think this is going to be so bad that I might not even be able to really tolerate this one this year. We've gone to all sorts of different places, junkyards and estate sales and things like Salvation Army and places like that, and we have purchased literally hundreds of dolls that we have that we're going to put into this.
This place is also full of skeletons.
Oh yeah, we got lots of skeletons.
But you can buy, I never knew you could buy skeletons online, but they're plastic, aren't they?
Yep. The medical, the skeletons are actually, most of them are destined for the medical school industry, and the ones that come out that are kind of rejects from the manufacturing process, they sell to the haunt industry at a discount. So we actually get full-size, life-size skeletons, and we use those, and we
Nothing is wasted any
creep
place.
them out. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're all about reuse. So we pick up things off curbs. We're not proud. We go dumpster diving. We find all sorts of things that we can recycle into the haunted house. And on top of that, we actually try, since all of our themes every time are usually set in the Victorian era, we look for a lot of actual antiques that we can use in the haunted house. Over the years, we've had all sorts of interesting things. We've got an antique wheelchair in there. We've got an antique pump organ. We've got, I just recently purchased an antique sewing machine that we're going to use in the doll factory this year. That was actually from 1910. So all sorts of interesting things that we have that are real.
What do you make your blood from? I need the recipe for
Well,
this.
that's an interesting thing. So one of the other thing that's a little bit unique about us is that we don't really go in for a huge amount of blood and gore. This past Valentine's, we actually did use a fair amount of blood, and that was actually just a commercial. We didn't actually make it ourselves. We purchased it commercially online for use in the haunted house.
You can purchase blood online?
Fake blood.
Fake blood online.
Yes.
But where else would you find out this information?
Yeah, but we typically don't go for a lot of really gory, slasher. The slasher film genre is not really something that we go into too much here. And we create all of our unique own characters, and I think it's a little bit more difficult and more challenging to actually create a truly scary haunted house without the addition of all the blood and guts and fake body parts.
What a
all over
fun
the
job
place.
you have.
So,
Gee whiz.
yeah.
Well, we have to see the interesting parts inside.
Absolutely.
Make a note. You've got to make a reservation, right?
Yes, so we have a website. It's
that?
kingsburycemetery.com. And then we actually will sell tickets online. We sell tickets at the door, and we also sell tickets online. You can actually get your tickets at a little bit of a discount if you purchase them ahead of time online. So you can just print those out, and we have a little barcode scanner when you come to the door.
And when you come to the door,
Yes.
I have the job now, for just a few performances, I'm going to be a skeleton. I've lost a lot of weight. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
You are a real character.
I try to be.
Ha ha. We'll see you here. You'll never know where you'll find me.
Around Town with Henry Dormann will return in a moment.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Life, it never stops moving. Getting from here to there. Managing long hours at work. Juggling a busy home. You need a bank that keeps up. That's Chemung Canal Trust Company. Bank online. Bank with our mobile app. Deposit a check with your smartphone. Open an account at Chemung Canal and bank with us anywhere, anytime. Chemung Canal Trust Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We now return to Around Town with Henry Dormann.
We may be in big trouble. We're looking into ghosts today, very special ghosts, and we're at the Naples Hotel in Naples with Dominick Gallo, who is the general manager, and he knows the ghosts personally. And in this particular room, it's filled with ghosts, and the room next door is filled with ghosts. I think they talk to each other, but we're going to find out about it. Where did you come into this? Did you discover the ghosts, or were they here before?
They were here before I was here. The spirits that we have here, we have 7 of them.
7?
7 spirits. We have a spirit in this room, a spirit in the bedroom here. Then we have another spirit right down the hall in another room.
Are they interdenominational in every religion? Are they black, white, Chinese?
Well, we have a picture. We have a picture of a couple spirits. Those are white spirits. I'm not sure if the other ones are Chinese or black or whatever. But we have 2 kids and a mother, and then we have a woman, like I said, right down the hall here. And then in the bar, we have a couple spirits there. Those spirits in the bar could be the same spirits that we have up here. We're not sure about that. And then in the basement, where everybody always thinks the basement is the most scariest haunted place, it's not. But we do have a couple spirits down in the basement. All of our spirits here are good spirits. They're friendly spirits. They do no harm to anybody. And if you don't want to have an experience with a spirit, when you come to the hotel, you just say, I just want to be here for fun, and I don't want to have any spirit activity, and they won't do anything.
This is an amazing thing to me, because it must be fascinating being in the hotel business to have an experience like this, which will bring in additional revenue than the normal hotel revenue. Now, do the spirits like to share in this? Are there things you need to do for the spirits to keep them happy?
I'm
That's
not
a loaded
sure.
question.
Yeah, I know. They like to see the people come and go. They know that it helps business, and I think that's why when we have customers come that really aren't into the spirit world, and or we can tell them, or they can tell them, please just leave us alone, nothing will happen. And not every room has a spirit in it. So if somebody's looking for a spirit, we always send them to this room. This room is the most active room we have. If they're not into spirits, we have 3 other rooms that have no spirits at all.
And at night there are children's spirits that roll marbles along what used to be
There's
a
2
hall.
kids. Yep, there's 2 kids.
2 kids.
And their mother's name is Alice, and Alice is normally.
My wife's name is Alice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
there we go.
Where are you? Where are you?
So the kids will roam around. Alice really doesn't. She stays in the dining room. Sometimes the kids will go down the hall over by her exit, and people have actually seen the kids in the window over at her exit, her fire exit.
And you had photographs of the spirits.
I have photographs of a couple spirits, but I do not have photographs of the kids.
How did you get the photographs?
Customers.
Really?
I've never. I take pictures all the time. For some reason, I can't actually get a picture of a spirit. I get pictures of orbs, and we have a lot of orbs.
What's an orb? A
An
circular?
orb, it's a circle about this big. Sometimes they're bigger. Sometimes the orbs will have faces in them. Sometimes they're yellow. Sometimes they're blue, and it's actually a spirit that's moving around.
They light flashlights. They close doors.
They close doors. They'll turn on flashlights for us. In this room next door to us, they'll actually move the hangers into the bathroom. I have never quite figured out how they do that, because I've actually sat in that room on a tour, and I was telling people how the hangers move. And the hangers were sitting there, and at the end, and I was facing the hangers, and I was facing the 2 customers, and at the end, the hangers weren't in there. They were in the bathroom, and I never saw the hangers move, so I don't know how they do that.
Now, what can we do? This is a friendly room, and there's spirits here and right next door. How can we be nice to them so they can show us something?
Spirits are like us. If they like us, they'll and if they're here, it doesn't necessarily mean they're here right now. They could be somewhere else at this point.
We can't call them up and see.
No, there's no. I don't have their phone number. I have nothing. On tours, 98% of the time, I can get a spirit to do something in this room. And once they get enough energy, because everything's about energy. Once there's enough energy, they'll turn the TV set on. This door here, being completely locked, will open and close. And I'm not sure how they do that with all the locks out. Mm-hmm. So it's locked, and then they open it and they close it. The TV sets, they can turn them on. They can change the channels. Like you'll be sitting there watching something, and all of a sudden the channel will change. The Haunted History Trail was here, and we actually have film of the TV sets changing channels and the flashlights turning on and off.
Goodness. How in the world did you ever get into this? And
By mistake.
How did that happen?
What happened was, I had a friend who was running the hotel, and I'm actually a chef. I'm more into restaurants than I was actually into running hotels. But I had a year off, so I came down to help. And they were telling me all this stuff that was going on in the hotel. Oh, I can't believe this. I forgot to shut my phone off.
I thought it was the spirits. I thought it was the spirits going.
You can cut all that out, right?
No, we're going to keep it in. I thought it was the spirits.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Every experience counts. Go ahead.
Where were we?
You were telling me this was a mistake.
Oh, okay. So what happened was I had a friend who was running the hotel. I had about a year off, so I came over to help them. And they were telling me stories about things that were happening. And I was not a believer by any means. But as time went on and things that were occurring around me, I really had no choice now except to believe that there were spirits in the hotel.
And if people want to come and stay with you or have a meal with you, what are you open all the time, and do they call you? What's the number or the email? Or
we're open for lunch and dinner, and the hotel room rentals are open year round. Lunch and dinner is early spring to the end of December. They can contact us at 585-330-2294. Our web page is nice, but our Facebook page is really what you want to go to. There's a Facebook page, has all the pictures of everything that's happening, has all the
ghosts.
It has all the events on there. Our Facebook is really well used versus our website.
What a fascinating place! What a fascinating place! You've got to come see. Come see at a time when he's here, because he has an affinity and a contact with ghosts. He is a real VIP ghost man.
That's what they call me.
Great place. You never know what strange things you're going to find here. We'll see you soon. I'm going to sit and wait, because I'm waiting for the flashlight to turn off behind the camera to make sure I see the ghosts. I need to say hello, right?
That's right.
See ya.
Bye.
Around Town with Henry Dormann will return in a moment.
Life, it never stops moving. Getting from here to there. Managing long hours at work. Juggling a busy home. You need a bank that keeps up. That's Chemung Canal Trust Company. Bank online. Bank with our mobile app. Deposit a check with your smartphone. Open an account at Chemung Canal and bank with us anywhere, anytime. Chemung Canal Trust Company. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Yeah, it's going down. We about to live it up, y'all. Let's go.
It's a big world, and now we're loving this town. It's our turn, so put your hands up. We on the big screen, and everybody's here living out our dreams. Dreams, whoa. Yeah, yeah. Don't be scared, take a chance. Come on, give me a hand. It's time to laugh, time to smile. Now let's get up and dance. Come on, everybody, let's live it up. Let it out if you can't get enough. This
we now return to Around Town with Henry Dormann.
Have you ever heard of a haunted trail, a trail that invites you to meet ghosts and takes you there? This is Doug Sitler, and he's the fellow that runs, what's the name of it?
Haunted History Trail of New York State.
And you've got how many places in New York that are haunted?
It's a collection of 65 haunted locations throughout the state, from Buffalo all the way to the Hudson River.
Now, say, where can they get more information? What's the website? And then tell me ghost stories. We are waiting to see ghosts. We're at the Naples Hotel in Naples, and they've got ghosts all over the place. And we've been in another room where the ghost turned on a flashlight, and now I'm waiting for them to tap me on the shoulder or the head or something. Take it away.
Well, I'm waiting as well, and you never know what's going to happen, especially here at the Naples Hotel. But getting back to the trail itself, people can find our information at hauntedhistorytrail.com. What's really unique is New York State is the only state in the country to have a haunted history trail. 10, 15 years ago, there was this uprising in popularity of the paranormal. There was TV shows, and still to this day, they're constantly on the airwaves. And that's been feeding the travelers' appetite to find things haunted and paranormal. Some folks are really into it and might want to go do a weekend trip here, maybe stay at the Naples Hotel with the hope of a ghost visiting them. Some folks just like to, maybe they'll find themselves in Rochester and want to go on a ghost tour and just hear stories and kind of take it at that level. But it is a vast collection. We have haunted inns, we have haunted restaurants, museums, lighthouses.
Do they talk to you?
The ghosts?
Yeah.
Well, the ghosts, you know, that's what's really neat is they, I haven't had too much interaction, but in all these places, they are a link to the past, and they like to be known from what I hear, you know, in all these towns. And what's neat is you hear about a ghost and it adds to the what's going on in that town. It might have been a former resident who was very prominent. And so you start to know a little bit more about the town and its upbringing and things like that. There are several places like the Iron Island Museum in Buffalo, New York. They have Polish ghosts that talk and swear at them in Polish.
Really?
I've been there where we've heard a haunted cat out in the hallway, just like 10 feet away, and 20 people heard it. The Iron Island Museum is a collection of it's a neighborhood museum. So sometimes they say that ghosts attach themselves to things from the past. And in fact, there's rooms at the Iron Island Museum in Buffalo that the owner won't even go into, or she won't even go in their own building without someone being there because it's so frequent and so current. We have.
But they're not dangerous.
They're not dangerous. They like to swear, though. So that's if you can go with a little bit of cussing and know it in Polish, I think you're okay. Yeah. But you know, there's just several great stories up in Boonville, New York. The Hulbert House. It goes all the way back to the early 1800s. I had a coworker stay there. Her and her cousin lasted about 45 minutes there before they left the hotel in terror, drove 90 miles to Syracuse to get into a hotel room where they were far, far away from the place. They were there hearing people walking up and down the hall, seeing things up and down the hall, and they were the only ones in the hotel at the time. So there's really frightening places like that. Up in Oswego, there's a great fort, Fort Ontario, and of course, with along that, there lots of reports of 1812 ghosts still patrolling. The fort burned down 3 times, so there's a lot of history. And if someone sees a ghost, there's usually some relevance to it, which makes it really, really kind of neat.
You must be a fascinating expert on ghosts.
You know, you become more and more because if you like history, the ghosts are kind of like the living participants. Yeah, they kind of help tie it together. And New York State, I mean, we're just so blessed with amazing history from the beginning of our country and beyond. I mean, going back to the Native Americans.
But this is really a very clever gimmick on your part to create a trail like this and to use ghosts. Nobody's ever done that before.
No one's
using ghosts to bring history back.
Correct, Henry. No one's done that. And it has been, we've been in our 3rd year, and it has just been outrageously successful. We've given away all our visitor guides. We have 40,000 guides that we got rid of because people want more and more information. And like I said, it really is tapping into a niche traveler right now. People love this stuff, and this place is more than willing to give it to them.
Have you got any ghosts in New York City?
Well, we're currently not involved in New York City.
We could talk about some politicians who are ghosts.
Well, we do have the Capitol building in Albany is a scary place. And Henry, I'm not talking about just the day-to-day politics. It's a scary place. They have their own ghost stories. They actually have ghost tours in the Capitol building
Really?
in Albany. Yeah. So this September and October, every day you can go on a ghost tour inside the Capitol, and it's a fascinating building alone, let alone the ghost stories.
It's a beautiful building.
It's beautiful. It's stunning, and
What kind of ghosts are there? Former governors come through?
there is some old politicians, and there's also some creepy design work. Architecture kind of plays into the haunted trail as well. The Capitol building is an amazing architectural building, and there's symbolism in the decorations, and there's a scary looking face that kind of scares everyone. It's very evident.
You really love what you do. You're kind of full of bubbles
Well,
and everything else.
it's just so fun. You know, life is it's fun to think about the possibilities, you know, and and these seems to be connections, and I think that's just really fun to be connected and grounded and know where things are in life.
How long do the tours take? Different times, different places?
Different places. What's really neat is you can go on a place and go on a walking ghost tour of, say, Rochester or Buffalo or other places, and it might be an hour, hour and a half. There are times you can go investigate where they provide you with all the ghost gizmos, the flashlights, and they give you some ghost hunters, and you can be in a building all night long. There's several opportunities.
And probably be very excited being in the building all night long.
Well, that's the really neat.
You don't get much sleep.
Yeah, you don't get much sleep, but usually our experiences say that the ghosts keep people energized and going, and here again, people just cannot get enough of it. So,
Do you ever communicate with ghosts who could tell you who's going to win the election?
well, that's another scary proposition there, Henry. No, well, we do. We don't have that, but we do. They will tell us about the past, though. We can't predict the football game score or the election, but they often let us know about the past.
Now, of all of these stories that you've collected, and there must be thousands and thousands, what's your favorite? And where?
Well, there's a mysterious, this is almost not haunted, but there's a mysterious park in Watertown, New York, where they say there's a time vortex. And people walk into the park, and then an hour will go by, and they will have no recollection of where they've been, and they will end up in a different part of the park. And these stories just don't happen once, they happen often, you know? And so for that to happen, there must be something going on up there, you know? It's just so odd and peculiar.
You better believe it.
I'm not one to say no, so yeah, I mean, let's get in the car and go find out ourselves, Henry. That sounds fascinating.
Give him a call. He has this is only a small amount of the stories. You're filled with colorful things. And I wouldn't be surprised if you knew some of these ghosts personally.
Well, I'll be friends with them, sure, you know. Absolutely, absolutely.
Interesting place. Come along. You'll see some fascinating things. What's the number again?
It will be hauntedhistorytrail.com would be the place to go.
Great. And no phone number?
No phone number. It's just easier because you go to the website, all of our locations, yeah.
Go on the website. I'm not going on the website. I'm staying here. I am having lunch today with the ghost in the dining room. Sorry, you can't see him, but I'm having lunch with him. He'll say, I'll see what he says, and I'll get back to you.
You're watching WENY HD.